The Piper PA-34 Seneca is an American twin-engined light aircraft, produced by Piper Aircraft since 1971 and still in production in 2014. The Seneca is primarily used for personal and business flying. Development: the Seneca was developed as a twin-engined version of the Piper Cherokee 6. The prototype was a Cherokee 6 that had wing-mounted engines installed, retaining its nose engine. The prototype was flown as a tri-motor aircraft in the initial stages of the test flying program. PA-34-180 Twin 6, with the decision to abandon the three-engine design tested on the PA-32-3M, the PA-34 was developed as a twin-engine design. The prototype PA-34-180 Twin 6, registered N3401K, first flew on April 25, 1967. The prototype had two 180 HP Lycoming 0360 engines, a fixed-nose wheel landing gear and a Cherokee 6 vertical tail. The second prototype flew on August 30, 1968, still with a 180 HP Lycomings but had retractable landing gear and a taller vertical tail. During development flying, the wingspan was increased by 2 feet. The third prototype was closer to the production standard and flew on October 20, 1969. It was fitted with 200 HP Lycoming IO360A1A engines. PA-34-200 Seneca I certified on May 7, 1971 and introduced in late 1971 as a 1972 model. The PA-34-200 Seneca I is powered by a pair of Lycoming IO360C1E6 engines. The right-hand engine is a Lycoming LIO360C1E6 engine variant, the L in its designation indicating that the crankshaft turns in the opposite direction, giving the Seneca I counter-rotating engines. The counter-rotating engines eliminate the critical engine limitations of other light twins and make the aircraft more controllable in the event of a shutdown or failure of either engine. A total of 934 Seneca I models were built, including one prototype. The early Seneca I models have a maximum gross weight of 4,000 lb, while later serial numbers allowed a takeoff weight of 4,200 lb. PA-34-200T Seneca II, responding to complaints about the aircraft's handling qualities, Piper introduced the PA-34-200T Seneca II. The aircraft was certified on July 18, 1974 and introduced as a 1975 model. The new model incorporated changes to the aircraft's control surfaces, including enlarged and balanced ailerons, the addition of a rudder anti-servo tab, and a stabilator bow weight. The T in the new model designation reflected a change to turbocharged, 6-cylinder Continental TSIO360E or EB engines for improved performance, particularly at higher altitudes. The Seneca II retained the counter-rotating engine arrangement of the earlier Seneca I. The Seneca II also introduced optional club seating, whereby the 2 center row seats face rearwards and the 2 back seats face forward, allowing more legroom in the passenger cabin. A total of 2,588 Seneca IIs were built. Gross weights of 4,570 lb for takeoff and 4,342 lb for landing, with all weight in excess of 4,000 lb required to be fuel. PA-34-220T Seneca III, in 1981, the PA-34-220T Seneca III was introduced, having completed certification on December 17, 1980. The change in model designation reflected an engine upgrade. Continental TSIO 360 kB engines were used, which produced 220 horsepower, although only rated as such for 5 minutes and then dropping to 200 HP. The horsepower increase, with the new engine's limit of 2,800 rpm, combined for much improved climb and cruise performance. The new aircraft also incorporated a one-piece windshield and a bare metal instrument panel instead of one covered with a removable plastic fascia. Some models have electrically actuated flaps. More than 930 Seneca IIs were built. The last 37 Seneca IIs built had a 28-volt electrical system rather than the 14-volt system of previous aircraft. The aircraft's gross weight was increased to 4,750 lb for takeoff and 4,513 lb for landing. A typical Seneca 3 with air conditioning and dacing equipment has a useful load of 1,377 lb. PA-34-220T Seneca 4. In 1994, the new Piper Aircraft Company introduced the Seneca 4, having achieved certification on November 17, 1993. This model was similar to the Seneca 3, offering minor improvements, such as a streamlined engine cowl for increased cruise performance. It continued to use the counter-rotating Continental TSIO 360 kb engines and gross weights remained unchanged. A total of 71 Seneca IVs were built. PA-34-220T Seneca V certified on December 11, 1996, the Seneca V was put into production as a 1997 model year. Again, the cowls were redesigned for increased performance, several cockpit switches were relocated from the panel to the headliner, and an improved engine variant, the Continental TSIO 360 RB, fitted with an intercooler, was used. The Seneca V's gross weights remain the same as the Seneca 3 and 4 at 4,750 lb for takeoff and 4,513 lb for landing, therefore, with all of the added features, the useful load is reduced by about 200 lb. The standard useful load for the 2014 model is 1,331 lb but typically is 1,134 lb when the aircraft is equipped with air conditioning, dacing equipment and co-pilot instruments. Embraer AIM-810 Seneca. From 1975 the Seneca was built under license in Brazil by Embraer as the AIM-810. The PA-34-200T was produced as the AIM-810C Seneca and the PA-34-220T as the AIM-810D. Operators, civil. The aircraft is popular with air charter companies and small feeder airlines, and is operated by private individuals and companies. One notable civil operator is the Costa Rican Air Surveillance Service. Military, a Brazil, Brazilian Air Force, a Honduras, Honduran Air Force, a Panama, Panamanian Public Forces, a Serbia, Serbian Air Force. Notable accidents and incidents. February 17, 1982 a Piper Seneca crashed near Hanover, Germany. The only survivor was football manager Julio Uenia. August 18, 2012 a PA-34-200 Seneca crashed off the coast of Masbate, Philippines, killing Philippine Interior and Local Government Secretary Jesse Robredo. Specifications, data from Piper Seneca V Information Manual, General Characteristics, Crew, 1, Capacity, 5 or 6 passengers, Length, 28 feet 7.44 inches, Wingspan, 38 feet 10.87 in, Height, 9 feet 10.8 in, Wing Area, 208.7 FTA², Airfoil, Laminar Flow NACA 652-415, Empty weight, 3212 pounds, Loaded weight, 4773 pounds, Max takeoff weight, 4750 pounds, Power plant, TUA, Continental TSIO 360 RB and LTSIO 360 RB 6-cylinder, air-cooled. Horizontally opposed piston engine, 220 horsepower each, performance, never exceeds speed, 204 knots, maximum speed, 204 knots at 23,000 ft, cruise speed, 188 knots can cruise at 25,000 ft, stall speed, 61 knots wheels and flaps down, range, 817 mi max fuel, can cruise at 18,000 ft, no reserves, service ceiling, 25,000 feet, rate of climb, 1550 feet per minute, wing loading, 21.2 pounds FTA², power mass, 0.1 horsepower per pound, see also. Related development, PZLM-20 Memoir, Embraer AIM-810 Seneca, aircraft of comparable role, configuration and era, Beechcraft Baron, Cessna 310, related lists, list of civil aircraft, references, notes. Bibliography, English, Adrian J. Air Power Analysis, Central America and the Caribbean, Panama. World Air Power Journal, Volume 32 Spring 1998. London, Aerospace Publishing PPA 142 €157. ISBN 1-86184-006-3. ISSN 0959-7050. Pepperell, Roger W. Smith, Colin M. Piper Aircraft and Their Forerunners. Tonbridge, Kent, England, Air Britain. ISBN A0-85130-149-5. Taylor, John W. Janes All the World's Aircraft 1976-77. London, Janes Yearbooks, 1976, ISBN 0-354-00538-3. The New Piper Aircraft, Incorporated. Piper PA-34-200 Seneca Airplane Service Manual. Manual Part Number 753-817, dated October 30, 2003. World's Air Force's 1988 inches Flight International, December 3, 1988 PPA 22 €87. External links, official website, the Piper PA-34 Seneca V, aircraft images and seat map.